CloseBot is releasing V2 really soon, and if you're an AI agency owner, if you're building bots for clients, you're probably wondering, should I be trying to switch over from V1 to V2 or just signing up for V2 in general? Well, in this video, we're going to be breaking down all the major changes, major updates from V1 to V2, and helping you decide if you should be switching from V1 to V2. So first thing first, let's hop into V1. V1 was great. V1 worked really well. Med spas, plumbers, roofers, HVAC, barbers, detailers, med spas, life insurance, real estate, more. Like, I've built bots in pretty much every single industry. I would say a lot of industries with CloseBot V1. It worked absolutely amazing. Here's a detailer, for example. Here's what we saw, the UI. It worked very well. We could update an API key. We could go Anthropic or OpenAI. It was awesome. We could add special tags in the text setting. Here was our main prompt. It was simple. It was uniform, right? Everything was on the left-hand side, and we could update objectives here, and we could update knowledge. We could even add follow-ups if we wanted to inside of V1. Here's where we come downhill. Where in V1, we kind of got messy with workflows. As you can see here, this is just one of the workflows. I just have 3 bots inside of this one account, and now I had to branch off if or else, add tags. And that was like the downfall of V1, is that its limitations inside were definitely there. We could do a lot, and if you wanted to keep stuff super basic, it was very easy to set up. Maybe 1 to 2 workflows, you're good to go. Outside of that, if you're trying to meet your client's needs, and if you're not really educated on the tech side with GHL, this is where we would come into fault and come into a little bit of issues, maybe hit a couple brick walls, where you would have to, number 1, understand CloseBot, understand how to prompt, how to build, what's going to happen, what tags are going to be added, and then trigger the GHL side to work at the same time, switching between bots, all of these things, right? With V2, I'm going to pop open here now. That's going to solve that issue. One of the biggest things that we noticed is that, number 1, our prompting inside of the main tab was only for one specific bot. So this prompting right here is only tied to this bot. What we can do in V2 is we can now make personas that can be tied to multiple job flows. So for instance, if I open Chloe here, and we'll just make a new one. I want to make a new persona, and I enter the name as bot launch. Let's do bot launch test. Enter the description. This is just for a test. And as you can see, bot's not going to reference, or the agent's not going to reference this data at all. Click next. Then we're going to response delay in seconds. Let's just say it's 7. Frequently AI typos. Let's say it's 35. Want to break up larger messages. Let's say 15-16% of the time. How should this bot respond? We'll keep this one really basic. You just be don't use their name a lot. Let's just say that for now, right? Obviously add proper prompting inside of here, and we add friendly, that's 1, and we add concise. Those are my 2 favorites for the tone of voice. Boom. We click next. We click on a provider now. Now we click on a provider. This is going to be basically, how is this specific persona going to be generating a response based off of what we're giving it? Well, we need obviously an API key to be plugged in. I have an API key there. And now we get a quick overview. Boom, bot launch test. As soon as I make that, it's going to be over here on this side. I didn't add a picture. You can add a picture. The difference now is that if I made 6 different job flows, I can connect every single one of those job flows to this bot launch test. I don't have to go change my how to respond and my response delay in seconds. It's already been there. It's updated 1 time, and now I can connect to multiple job flows, which is absolutely beautiful. It's going to save us a tad bit of time on the actual prompting of everything, removing the headache of, now I got to go prompt this and prompt this. No, we already have one prompted. All we got to go do is build our job flow, start building, and connect my bot launch test or my persona to the specific job flow. An absolute beautiful way to save a tad bit of time, save the headache of, wait, did I prompt this in here? Absolutely amazing. And with that, we can also talk about the job flow itself, because we're here. So let's open this up. Let's just make bot launch. Let's do bot launch test again. Bot launch test, all job flows. We can obviously we have folders. If you want to add folders, you absolutely can. Click that, and you're going to select the source. As it says here, this cannot be changed later. I love this little, like, the UI from V1 to V2. Also, I'm gonna just throw in there, is absolutely game changer. It's beautiful, and it's absolutely night and day, the difference between V1 to V2. Like this wasn't there in V1. CloseBot's great overall, but this little type of stuff is very, very important. I love this little red little note here. Gives me the understanding that don't mess up, right? Let's just say it's a lead connector, the type of source it's going to be, and I can select my sources. Down here, let's say I'm going to go to this, build test workflow here. So here, now we can talk about our connected source, and we can filter off by what tags. So earlier I showed you would have to do this inside of GHL. You'd have to filter off what bot's going to talk to what based off of what tags it has. Now we do that inside of CloseBot. So there's not a lot of switching back and forth anymore. We were able to just, I want to filter this off. This is, I know what this is. This is for my AI DBR. So if they had the tag AI DBR and they have the tag, and if they have the tag AI DBR, my bot's on. If they have the tag AI off, my bot is off, right? And we can filter off by more and more tags. So if I wanted to scroll down, see more tags, I can absolutely do that. Are they a seller? I don't want to talk to them if they're a seller, right? I only want to talk to them if they have AI DBR. Boom. Right, we can also pick the channels. Again, in GHL, we would have, in V1, we would have to do that here. Pick, customer reply channels, Instagram, DM, email. I'd have to filter off there. Over here on the V2 side, I can just pick what channel I want here. Is it email? Is it also SMS? And is it live chat? Or is it all of them? If I get rid of, it'll just be all channels. So that's absolutely beautiful. So we go next. And then another aspect of this, and you're watching this, be on the lookout. I'm going to be building I'm going to be converting all of my V1 to V2, building a bunch of my templates out that I built for real businesses. These templates in V1 aren't just stuff that I talk to ChatGPT. No, these are real businesses I really talk to, and I actually helped other AI agency members build for actual clients as well. So I'm going to be building a lot of those inside of V2, and there's going to be a marketplace. So you can actually share your bot templates. Before, how we were doing it is I'd have to copy and paste the whole Word doc inside of V1 or in a Google Doc to send over that prompt. And here's my prompt for that bot if you want this HVAC bot. Now we can just put it in the marketplace and send a link coming soon, right? You can also do AI from prompts. So this is absolutely beautiful. I got to beta test this, and I literally just tell it, hey, I'm looking to build a real estate bot, and I want my real estate bot to determine if they're a buyer or seller. If they're a seller, ask this line of questions. If they're a buyer, ask this line of questions. And both are going to have separate calendars. Can you create that for? And it'll create the whole actual job flow without you actually having to lift a finger. Absolutely crazy. And that's coming. It's in repair, and I use it, and it worked. You can also come from the templates. There's some templates in here, but today we're going to be starting from scratch. Deploy. So look at this. This is where it gets absolutely crazy. And now I'm not going to break down all of this, but I just wanted to touch. This is one of the biggest differences inside of V1 compared to V2. This is V1. This was our objective builder in V1. We could, priority 1 through 6, change it, move it around. You can add this here if you wanted. But inside of V2, we can add so many different type of things going on. We can add them all. We can literally create what flow they're going to go to. If we're just going to conversate, we can just conversate. Do we want to add an objective inside of here? And when we add an objective, one of the things that you couldn't do inside of CloseBot V1 is that you have to stack the objectives. And right here was like, which one is it going to pick, right? But it had to go this one. Then it was going to maybe go this. It was a little odd. With V2 now, we can add all of those objectives. If I'm grabbing name, phone, and email, name, I can add every single objective, phone, inside of one little node here, if you wanted to call it that. So click save. Now I have name, phone, and email inside one objective. So the bot's going to conversationally grab all the name, phone, and email and all the information I want inside of this one objective instead of grabbing just the name, then going over to the phone, and then going back to the email. No, it's like, hey, can I get a name, phone, and email for you? It'll conversationally grab that information inside of this conversationally. It's absolutely amazing. That's probably one of the biggest and awesome differences. And we can break down this all night and all day. I'm gonna make a better, further walk down, breakdown video about how to actually use the job flow and how to also use every single one of these tools and how crazy and awesome. Look at verify ad, like save conversation. And then we have GHL booking, of course. And all you have to do is put your calendar ID for the GHL booking. Like, yo guys, night and day difference in regards to all of this. And so let's just say we had separate calendars. Let's talk about that. That's another huge thing. In GHL, we had one booking, right? And if we have to pick what path because we could do 2 bookings here, but then we'd have to pick, determine how they got to this path. We'd have to use GHL to update the goals accomplished. And if they said this to go to this calendar, now we just send them on a flow, right? If we want to switch right here, and let's just go to branch and get rid of all of these, boom, delete. By the way, I'm just clicking on it, click backspace. I make this, boom. I make this branch. This is true, go here. Let's make another GHL booking. And if I make false, go here. Again, I'm going to break down all of this, but look how simple that was. If it's true, we're going to this calendar. If it's false, we're going to this calendar. Absolutely beautiful. It auto saves. I've lost so many bots in the past. It absolutely auto saves. This is absolutely crazy. And so that's another beautiful feature, and the huge difference between V1 to V2 is that you're basically switching and taking everything that we had to force ourselves to figure out and do inside of V1 and GHL. Now a lot of it can just be done inside of V2. Just think about the difference. A lot of it can absolutely just be done inside of V2, right? And again, I'm going to make a separate video breaking down this and blowing your socks off with the actual job flow builder. But the next thing I want to talk about is the AI providers. You saw in V1 how we had AI providers and we could only add OpenAI and Anthropic. Now, if you go to V2 and I want to add a new AI provider, I pop this AI provider over here on the left-hand side, add new AI provider right there, click it one more time for you, click the drop down, and now we're OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, DeepSeek, Grok, and more to come. That is expanding because each API, each kind of LLM has its own kind of specialty. So you may like the way Anthropic works, so you can use Anthropic. Maybe you're a Grok person, use a Grok. Maybe you're a DeepSeek because it's cheaper, use that. I'm an OpenAI guy. That's just me personally. But now we're not limited to only OpenAI and Anthropic. Another huge difference between V1 and V2. And that is huge in itself. And as you can see, I have my API and I have 9 personas connected to it. You can connect a bunch of different personas to one API, have multiple, add a bunch. It's an absolute dream right there because over here I was literally only using OpenAI, and I'm probably going to explore with all of the other ones and see kind of what the differences in response and how they're generated differently, right? Another thing I want to touch on is going to be users. We go to users and we didn't have users tab. What's a users tab? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Now you can actually add users to your specific account. So previously, I had to give my login to other people for them to access my account. So if I hired a bot builder, I'd have to give them my personal email and give them my password to CloseBot V1, and they would just basically see exactly what I saw. They had access to my billing and all that stuff. They could cancel stuff if they wanted, and as well as I trusted everybody. Now we can just add users. So if we want to invite a user, we can select, is it a client? They can modify, upload, their sources, modify variable values. Client users can be rebuild for their source users. Each source can have one client attached to it. And we can also add team members. So they can add sources, view agents, they can update agents, but cannot control your wallet, domain, or billing settings. They can also add and modify team members and clients. Just like that. Now, instead of me having to give my password and email to a team member or a VA that's building bots for me, or somebody I saw online who said they can build bots, we can just make them a user inside of V2, give them access, and remove it if we want. So for instance, I just sent access earlier today. If I wanted to revoke the invitation, I'm like, you know what? This isn't going to work out. Boom, get them out of here because I'm the owner of this account. So that's another huge feature that I'm super, super excited about. And there's so many other features. One of the things I want to touch on, and I'm so excited for, this will probably be the last one inside of this video, and I'll break down even more, is this knowledge storage. Now we can update our files. This is a file that I had, and I want to go edit this. If I click edit, I can now come in here and add stuff if I wanted to, and then I click save. It'll save the file. We weren't able to do that. In V1, we'd have to go to the knowledge storage. You can see I have a bunch of knowledge inside of here, and I have to download it, update it over there, and then delete the old one, update the new one. It was kind of a nightmare. Now we can actually update the file itself. The web scraping is better. And let me tell you about the web scraping. I could talk about this all day and night. Let me talk about the web scraping. Now we're getting dynamically like uploaded information every 24 hours. So if you scrape a website and it changes so say I have a website and it's all about my pricing and my packages and my offers. And today it's this, but tomorrow it changes. Every 24 hours, it's rescraping and it's checking, did something change? And it's able to grab that information. So if my price changed from $197 to $697, your AI that's connected to that web scraping source, that knowledge that you have in the knowledge library that you have, it'll now know it's $697, which my personal opinion is probably one of the best features we could have ever asked for. It's very beautiful, and that's going to save a lot of time from uploading information and documents. So that's another huge thing. You can update files, and now web scraping is even better than it was before. And let's break this down. Let's come back down to earth here. Let's come back down to earth. So big difference between V1 to V2. Number one, the ability inside of V1 was good. It worked. But we had to use a lot of GHL for it to work and to do the advanced things and the complex things that some businesses need. Inside of V2, it eliminates the headache of going from V2 or from CloseBot to GHL and workflow this and tag this and if or else branch and then back to it eliminates a lot of that headache and stress. So the complexity is now a lot easier inside of V2. We can now add multiple objectives inside of one objective. Previously in V1, we weren't able to do that. Our personas and job flows are now broken up. Inside of V1, we had everything inside of one. You had to duplicate it, change it up from there. Now we can have a couple personas and add a bunch of job flows to those couple personas, which is absolutely game changer. Save the time, right? So and real quick, I want to add, if I know Chloe's my go-to, Chloe works 100% of the time. Her responses are great. Yeah, I'm going to use Chloe a lot. I'm absolutely going to use Chloe a lot. So my job flows are all going to be connected to Chloe, because I know Chloe's a closer. So we think about that in regards to the time saved. When something works, it's not broke, don't fix it. Another thing is the knowledge storage, which is absolutely game changer. We're able to upload documents and also edit the uploaded documents, and web scraping is super advanced and absolutely a game changer as well. Lastly, I want to add the team users. It sounds so like not as significant, but I think it's probably one of the best features inside of V2 right now is being able to add those users. Now, it does cost a little bit. I believe it's like $5 a new user, but it's better than giving somebody your password to all of this and having them potentially check on your building or something crazy. And I think that's a really, really good feature and a really good step into CloseBot V2 becoming something even bigger. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video kind of broke down the difference between V1 and V2. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you. If you want to learn more, we have a links down below where you can join our free school where you can talk about V1, V2, and building and selling AI. But that's it for this video, and thanks. Later.